Hello and welcome to the Alopecia Advocate podcast, where we open up real conversations about hair loss, healing, and hope. This is a space for education, empowerment, and breaking the stigma surrounding hair loss, alopecia, and appearance-related issues. Together, we're going to explore the stories, the science, and the strategies that we can use to help see everyone through beauty, their strength, and their confidence in a new light. Our special guest today is Kerri Parker, and we're going to dive into her journey, her insights, her experiences, and what drives her to work and support to inspire others. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Kerri. Kerri's love affair with the beauty industry began at just 17 years of age when she became a licensed cosmetologist. She dreamed of living in Dallas, Texas, and in 1993, that dream became a reality. Over the past 35 years, she has built a career that blends artistry, science, and education. In 2007, Kerri began seeking a new challenge while staying rooted in the industry she adored. She discovered trichology, the science of hair and scalp health. This chance encounter with the client scalp issue, it sparked a 17-year journey specializing in hair loss and scalp disorders, allowing her to combine beauty with wellness in life-changing ways. Her curiosity and drive led her to another chapter in 2009 when she became an educator for L'Oreal's Purology brand. And in 2012, she opened Parker Trichology Center in Carrollton, Texas, a salon and wellness space dedicated to personalized hair restoration programs. And over the past 13 years, she has developed a proven system that helps clients address the root causes of hair and scalp issues through customized, sustainable solutions. With countless success, stories, and transformative before and after results, Kerri's work goes beyond hair. It's about restoring confidence, health, and hope. Today, Kerri continues to innovate, inspire, and serve, blending her decades of expertise with a genuine passion for helping people feel their absolute best. Hey, Kerri, thank you for joining me today on the Alopecia Advocate podcast.
Thank you, Stephanie, for having me. I'm so grateful for you actually sending me the invitation, and I've been excited and nervous ever since.
So I'm excited and thankful that you accepted the invitation. But don't be nervous, just ignore the microphone and the recording. It's just like a conversation between two friends talking about our passion, hair loss, and helping others, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's get started because there's so much information to cover with such a limited amount of time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have a few questions that I want to share with the audience and get your perspective of. So I'm going to start with this, talking about personal reflections. With you being in the industry, starting with the beauty industry and now serving those with alopecia and hair loss, what does alopecia, Kerri, mean to you, and how or has it impacted your personal or professional life?
Yeah, so with me, say start with the personal side. So from a personal level, I'm in my early 50s now. I have eczema. And so, being a child in the 70s, as we know, medicine is not like it is today. And I did not have hair. I now faded out, but when I was growing up, I did not have hair from the top of my ear all the way down to my bottom of my hairline, going all the way across. So I had hair up here, but not down there. And having to go through that, um, living just through that my entire life until I was 15. Kids teasing me, um, people looking at me, people asking questions, what's wrong, what happened, just always having to deal with it, always having to answer, someone about it. It was exhausting, but embarrassing. My parents did all that they could. We went to dermatologist after dermatologist. We traveled. Finally, in the early 80s, we found a dermatologist. He was definitely before his time, in Mississippi. So we drove, I'm from Abilene, Texas. I'm from West Texas. So we drove 12 hours from Abilene, Texas to Mississippi. And we found this dermatologist, and he asked me about, or asked my parents, what is she eating? And so he delved into our diet. And that was the first time that anyone had actually asked us about the diet and what I was eating, and all those different things. And so it was unbelievable. I remember my parents and I looking at each other thinking, why is he asking us about the diet? What does that have anything to do with it? And so my mother changed my diet specifically just for me. I had to be on a special diet. And I went through that time. My skin improved, my hair improved. My grandmother, about 3 years after that, grandmother was a beautician. She's how I got into the beauty industry. And one summer, she used a pair of clippers on me. I was 15 years old, about 14 years old. She used a pair of clippers on me one summer. And by the time we took school pictures, my hair had fully grew in to where I could curl it with a curling iron. And that was the very first time that I ever had hair that I can remember in my entire life. And when even to this day, think about it, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I can't. I just remember how amazing, how powerful I felt, how I more than likely wouldn't have to answer questions again. And it was just fun to curl it, just amazing to just be able to go like that and have hair. And when we got the pictures, I was just like, oh my gosh, I have hair. It's my hair. It's healthy. And so my journey started with that. And so now for me as a professional, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like not to want to go anywhere, not to want to really shy away from my friends. I did not think that I would ever get married. I've been married for 20 years now. I never thought that I would be able to be married. I never thought that a man would ever want to be with me because of it. So just all of that shame behind it was, I understand.
Yes. And thank you so much for your transparency and sharing your personal story because sometimes I think as professionals, we have taken the time to study and to try to learn how to help our clients. But you coming from a perspective of not just learned, you had lived experience. And I think that holds a lot of weight and value because when you've dealt with a situation and then you get in the industry of something that you've dealt with and you bring a whole nother perspective to your clients, it's like, this is what happened to me. Because a lot of times, as you know, people think it's just them. It's just
Yeah.
happened to them,
Yes.
nobody else. So thank God. And it's just a testament that people will go to whatever lengths they need to. Driving that 12 hours, your parents were willing to do whatever they needed to do for you in order to make you feel better about yourself in the situation. So
Yeah.
that is so great. So thank you for sharing that. And it's just like, okay, you got help from a dermatologist who realized it's not just about the topical and what's being put on the scalp, but there's an internal component that most people don't even consider.
Yes.
Yes. And as a trichologist, you know that a lot of things stem from the inside out.
Yes, ma'am.
So another question I want to ask, because that was a real good point you made in sharing your background, advocacy. Advocacy, what do you feel like provide insights that you have regarding in your area of expertise? What do you believe are the most important steps to raise awareness about alopecia and support those affected by it?
Well, I would say from from what I see is, and really on a day-to-day basis, we have a disconnect between the medical profession, naturopaths, and cosmetologists, and from a trichologist, all of those combined. I feel that if we were to have some type of way to where we could have a connection, so whether it be a larger scale conference of some type. I know we all individually have trichologists, we have our conferences, doctors, they have their conferences, naturopaths have their conferences. So I'm not saying to take that away, but I do feel that we should have some type of conferences on a large scale that all of us know about, that we can bridge the gap between all of the professions for all of us to understand what each of us do and what we don't do. And so that way it's clear for all of us as professionals what we all bring to the table, because all of us bring something unique and different, and the combination of all of those professions together would be absolutely phenomenal. And that way everyone would get the respect that they deserve, because a lot of times other some professions get respect and some professions don't get the respect that they deserve. And it's not that it is not really coming from a, I don't know where it came from, because trichology has been around since 1902. A lot of people don't even know that. I hear it every single day. I've never heard of trichology. And I said, well, just buckle up, because you're about to, and so many other people are too. And so we're coming. We're like the women's basketball team now, baby. We're coming. And so we're about to take it down. But going back to your question, I think that would be the biggest thing for us to work together, for us to be able to refer patients and clients to each other, and be okay to do that. I tell all my clients, I know what I know, but if it's from the medical side and I know that there's no way that I can help them, I have no problem referring them out. I have no problem referring them to a hairstylist. If I don't know what to do or I'm incapable of doing it, I'll say, okay, here's some hairstylists. From that perspective, by all means, still go to your hairstylist. So I think that would, for my opinion, that would be one of the biggest things to do.
Yeah. You expressed that so well and so eloquently because I understand the disconnect, experienced it. And the thing is, there's no competition
Right.
because each one of those professions, whether it's medical, us in trichology, or in the beauty as a beauty professional, it's a collective that can work well together to help the client that needs us in different ways. And we've been trained in trichology not to step on, don't try to practice medicine because we're not doctors.
Exactly.
Or some of us are kind of put up the hat when it comes to styling. So we just concentrate on the hair and scalp maladies. So it really can be a beautiful collective. I personally have referrals from medical or to, and vice versa with the beauty. So I think what you're saying is something that is getting better, and I
Yes.
think it will get better. It's just that, you know, maybe it's something that you do, bring it to Texas and have something to where the medical community and the trichology community and the beauty industry can work together and identify that we are working hard to serve the same patient or client, and that's those dealing with hair loss issues. So I think you said that very well. Thank you for bringing that point out. So I want to talk about breaking stigmas because I think a lot of things that we see and when we're dealing with clients is because they have been made to feel like we talked about earlier, like they're the only ones that are dealing with hair loss. So we're going to talk about breaking stigmas. How do you feel, Carrie? How can society better support individuals living with hair loss? And what role do you think your profession plays in changing perceptions surrounding alopecia?
Um, Me being experiencing it, I feel that we just really need to be kinder to people. Just be kinder to people in general, regardless of what they have. And I know that a lot of times, if you haven't experienced something, you're typically not as sensitive to it, or maybe to you, but maybe not someone. If it hasn't been you, it's someone that you care about. Maybe affected it by something. It could be anything, doesn't matter what it is. And so that's one thing that the I've heard stories that women hadn't even been able to get married because once they decide, okay, well, I'm tired of wearing the wig. I'm not gonna wear this anymore. I'm just gonna rock my hair or don't have any hair. And they didn't get married. I mean, just something as simple as that. And so just to be more sensitive to people, because it is extremely painful to go out in this world and not feel confident. And people that don't experience it, they're not sensitive to that. So that would where I would say I would start with that, to be sensitive and caring. Um, and be able to better understand it, because it is everywhere now. And so if you do know someone, versus shaming them and making them feel inadequate as a human being, because they're a human being regardless, then how can you help them? How can you encourage them? I've had clients that their daughters or friends or husbands, they found me, they didn't even look for me, but their that other person did. That's what we need more of.
Yeah, the advocacy, exactly. So the fact that it is so imperative, I've always said that most people aren't concerned about hair loss unless it affects them or someone that they love or care about. So that was just what you said in a nutshell. And I think what you're doing today by helping me spread the word, awareness, and advocating for, we're working to make it more, start the conversation. I believe a lot of, I call them bald baddies that are able to walk around with the beautiful bald heads and like no hair, don't care. I think that a lot of them are at a different place than
Yes,
some when it comes to accepting their alopecia, and they're open to most times answering the questions. Because at that point in time, I am here, I am out there, and this is me. So the thing about it is bringing it to where it's a diagnosis. It's a medical diagnosis like anything else alopecia is. And if compassion is given toward cancer, different autoimmune diseases, which alopecia, some forms of alopecia is, I think it should be given the same consideration and respect that these people are dealing with a medical issue.
yes,
So I think that it's great that that would be a great starting point to make people feel like they're not by themselves and
yes,
start the conversation.
yes, yes, yes.
So funny because this is the segue to the next one. It's encouraging conversations. If you could share just one message, Carrie, just one message about alopecia to your audience or to your clients, what would it be and why is that message important to you?
I would say do not be in denial. I feel that we're human. So it's just, we put the guards up, we put the blinders on, we keep rolling. We're busy. We are busy. And that's a problem. It's been a problem for me, and I think it's a problem for most people. We're just moving too fast. And so the denial is there. And so because of that, then we're not paying attention. So we're not paying attention to the hair. We're not paying attention to ourselves. We haven't looked at ourselves, look at your eyes, look at, look at your tongue, look at your body, scan it regularly. are you okay? Does it feel okay? Do the testing that they're telling us to do. They're not just saying that, as in doctors are not just saying that, but really focus on yourself, not to where it becomes obsessive. That's different,
Yeah.
but just look at yourself and pay attention, because a lot of times by the time they get to us, it is not a lot to work with a lot of times. And so that is, for me, it is gut wrenching, because I do not want to ever have to, I really hate to turn people away, but a lot of it is it's not a connect, or not connecting, that there's not a lot to work with. And they're like, well, you're my last hope. And I'm just thinking it should have been about, more than 10 years ago that you even started to focus on your health. Not even your hair, but your health, because that's intimately connected. And I go into my second point with that is, it's not all the time, but a lot of times it is, as you said, autoimmune, or it's some type of health issue that they've ignored. And so when I bring it to their attention, they're like, oh, well, I feel fine. I feel okay. And I'm just thinking, okay. And so that one reason why I started using the blood work. So for me, I wanted to go deeper, because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't really coming from me, that they know, okay, so let's start working and taking the blinders off, and let's work together. You have someone and people that are just like me and you and others that we're willing to help. um but we gotta focus on ourselves too. Focus on your families and do that, but also focus on yourself.
I think you're so right in the sense that by the time they come seeking help, they've been in denial for so long. And we know that the best opportunity to assist someone is when it first starts. But they're so caught up in, this isn't happening, or ignoring it, or to go away. But I heard somebody saying it sounded really crazy at the beginning when they said it. It's like, thank God for hair loss. Thank God I started losing my hair. And the
Mm,
only reason they said that was because that gave them an opportunity to address other things. Hair loss was just the symptom that they noticed first.
true.
Our bodies are so intricately, when God made us, girl, the blueprint, it's all intertwined and interconnected. So when you start seeing things, that is the time to start addressing your health issue. So yes, the fact that people just need to take some time. I like the way you said that people just need to take some time out for themselves and start looking iridology, start looking at their eyes, look at their tongue, and start asking for blood tests or different things to try to get to the root cause. When we get to the root cause, then we can better address certain issues.
Yep.
Okay, so I believe the future is bright. That is why you and I are working so hard to bring more awareness to alopecia, to be able to help those who we serve. So when we think about the future, Carrie, looking ahead, what changes or advancements would you like to see in the conversation around alopecia that would benefit those that are currently affected by it?
Oh, this was an interesting question, because Stephanie, I had to dig
Did you
deep.
have to dig?
I was like, okay, Stephanie, now you got me. Okay, I had to really, this one was a hard one. Um, but I will say, so we got AI and it is here. AI is here. So I took a class 2 weeks ago, AI. I got a class coming up in AI at the end of the week. And so I feel AI is getting ready to it's going to, it just like Google did, just like email did, it's going to completely change everything as we know, period. Every profession is going to change. So I feel that for us, that AI will definitely will give us some better options for sure. It would honestly be nice on our side, from a business owner side, for us to be able to have better options, or maybe not better, but better and different options for equipment, different types of technology, different types of apps that we can use to make our businesses more, especially from a financial standpoint. It would be nice. These classes are off the chain expensive, you know, that would help. And also from the equipment for us to have some different and better equipment too, to where we could service our clients in a different way. I think that would help, and that's really not that far from here. We got, maybe 2 to 3 years. I think it'll completely switch and change from that standpoint. I know that apps, the different applications, will help us to be able to maybe allow them to be able to get I would think a not a diagnosis from, I mean, a diagnosis from a doctor for sure too, but where we can do body scans. That would be great. That is affordable and everybody can get that. Not if you're, working, and I mean, it's these blood works are so expensive. So people really a lot of times don't do it because it's so
Can't
expensive.
afford it. Yeah.
And so if it was where you could get it done a couple of times a year and you could really understand it, that's a lot of times too. People are getting the blood work, nobody talks to them about it. And so I feel that if they could better understand it, they could better read it themselves, that would help them to see, oh wow, this is off a lot. I need to do something about this, where that would make it less so far away and more affordable for them.
I believe the advancements are coming.
Yes.
And I think when things first start out, they're always more expensive, but over time, and when it becomes more easily affordable for other people. And you're right. There are so many things that we can do to help our clients. So I know that you're located in Texas, your Trichology Center, and I know that there are going to be some people, Kerri, who are going to want to know more about what it is you do. Can you share your contact information so they can reach out to you?
Yes. So again, I'm Kerri Parker. I own the Parker Trichology Center and Salon. I'm located in Carrollton, Texas, the suburb just north of Dallas. And my phone number is 214-912-1163. My website is Hair Loss Center, and center is CENTRE and salon.com.
Kerri, you have shared so many insight, both professional and personal, and I thank you for that. Thank you for your time. And unfortunately, that's going to be all for the time that we have for today's podcast. But thank you again for joining the conversation. And thank you for those who are watching. Until next time, take care and be blessed.
Thank you. Thank everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.